Developing news tonight. In less than an hour, our state takes a step back in reopening. New numbers from the governor's office tonight show the state is at a 3.7% positivity rate, as you see right there. There are about 1,200 more cases, 11 more deaths, and an additional 6 people in the hospital. Now, something really important, the Department of Public Health has issued an advisory that calls for some of the strictest measures we've seen in months. Channel 3 Eyewitness News reporter Matthew Campbell is live in New Britain. And Matthew, it is really going to feel a lot like it did during the spring.
Yeah, Aaron, it really will. We're talking about the recommendation of curfews. We're talking about working from home as much as possible. And because of that, we're here in New Britain at the Beehive Bridge, because back in March and April, these roads at this hour really were desolate like we've never seen before. And tonight, as you can see, it's starting to look like we may end up in the same spot. The snapshot of Connecticut shows a state on fire. Cases of coronavirus spreading so fast, towns that were in the yellow just a week ago jumped right into the red alert tonight.
That's when you start to see that kind of exponential increase in cases.
Because of that, the state is cracking down. The Department of Public Health issuing one of the most stern advisories we've seen since the pandemic began, calling for people to stay home from 10 p.m. to 5 a.m. while working from home as much as possible. All gatherings of any size for any reason should be postponed or at least end by 9:30. Visits to nursing homes should be limited, while anyone in the at-risk population is urged to stay home as much as possible.
When you get to a level of community prevalence of this virus, your odds of bumping into somebody in any kind of activity, whether it's low risk, medium risk, or high risk, your odds of bumping into somebody with COVID goes up quite a bit.
All of this is on top of Phase 2.1, which starts at midnight. This calls for restaurants to close at 9:30. It limits indoor gatherings to under 10 people, which will alter traditional Thanksgiving and Christmas celebrations.
You have to follow them because you don't know. You never know, Look where we're at now. Look at the numbers.
Alvin DeLeon and Maritza Cruz live in New Britain, where 139 cases were reported this week. They're tired. Some don't know if they'll follow all of these recommendations.
If it's not mandatory, no, but we also have to watch ourselves that we don't get it either.
Everyone from the White House task force to the CDC to the state's own public health department say the virus is spreading because of indoor private gatherings.
It's our strong feeling that if we can limit those private gatherings for a period of time, it will make a real difference.
All right, so it's very important to know that Phase 2.1 is essentially in order. So things like restaurants closing at 9:30, that will be enforced. Everything else, though, that we mentioned, that's part of the advisory, so that's just a recommendation. That is the latest. Live here in New Britain, Matthew Campbell, Channel 3 Eyewitness News.